Well, it's the third weekend of bow season, so I didn't go out last weekend. It was youth shotgun hunt, so I didn't go out. Figured let the kids have their fun. But it's Sunday. I didn't hunt yesterday. I was helping a friend build a deck, which I didn't finish, but I am taking the day off today so that I can hunt. And then I'll go back over there during the week and finish that job for him. But it's a wait and see situation. I'm hoping that all the wind that we had yesterday and the warming temperatures, and then the wind died off late in the afternoon, I'm hoping the deer got out tonight to feed, and I'll be able to catch one on the way back to their bedding spot. Anyway, all I can do is hope. They're running a whole different pattern this year. There were very few tracks around me the last time I went out. Just one or two looked like. Most of them were small, like fawns. But anyway, the good Lord willing, I'll be taking home a deer today. We'll see if the good Lord is willing. Well, I finally got my first deer with a crossbow. It's a buck. Nice looking one, nice rack. Looks like a 6-point. Nope, it's an 8-point. Wow.
8-pointer, probably 3 years old.
Yep, about 3. He fought it for a long time.
You know we gotta drag that fucking thing up.
Finally gave up. Yes, I do know that.
You need to quit.
Well, there it is. I finally got it in the rack between me and my friend Henry. Took all we could get to drag the darn thing back up the hill. For some reason, they like to run downhill and die. And then we got to drag them up to the top to get them where we're going. So I got the arrow, there's the crossbow, and then deer. Yeah, I called the processing plant where they process the deer, and they're not taking any deer until November 4th due to the COVID outbreak. So I guess I'm going to my cabin and hang a deer up and butcher it on site. Won't be the first one I've butchered. I can do it. Deer ever with a crossbow, and it was my first shot at anything with a crossbow, and it was less than a perfect shot, believe me. It was less than perfect, but it did the job. It was a long shot. It bled out, so I only had to track it about 200 yards, and then I had to drag it about a quarter of a mile, so life goes on. Okay, so I got the heart cooking, chopped up an onion and put in there with it, and I've got it seasoned with the smoky mesquite seasoning that's my all-time favorite. So I'm going to let this simmer in here while I go and skin that deer and quarter it up, get it ready for the freezer. It's cooled off a lot outside, so I feel a lot better about that deer hanging out there now. But I can't leave it where it's at because it's too close to the ground, and coyotes and everything else will get to it before I can clean it. So anyway, looks like we're going to have a pretty good supper. Well, it's venison heart for supper. This baby's been cooking since about 1 o'clock this afternoon. It's 5 now, so it's tender. It's ready to eat. Time to chow down. Okay, I like to drink a toast whenever I shoot a deer to the hunt. This time it's Climax Fire Number 32 Cinnamon Spice. It's Tim Smith's moonshine, and normally what I use is Crown Royal, but I don't have any here at the house, so this is what I'm gonna do. Okay, to the hunt, to the deer that gave its life to feed my family. And thank you, Lord, for providing very well for me today. It's been an experience. Oh, that's pretty good stuff, actually. Um, it was a challenge because I was able to get a deer, first of all, and he came in from the back behind me. I happened to see him without him seeing me. Couldn't get a clear shot at him at all. Not at all. Every time he moved, there was something between us, whether it was a pair of trees or a bunch of brush or what. And I was in my tree stand, and of course I'm tethered because I have my safety harness on. So I had to turn completely around to be able to shoot around to the other side of the tree that was directly behind me. And this is the first shot I've ever made with a crossbow at a deer. And I knew I was taking a chance because the crossbow wasn't sitting level. In fact, it wasn't even at a 45-degree angle. It was more than a 45-degree angle. Couldn't tell you exactly how steep it was, but it was about like that. And so, fortunately, the scope is good. I was able to find a clean shot through the brush that was there. It was fairly thin brush, but it was still through the brush. I heard the arrow hit the deer, and then I heard another crack, and I wondered what it was. It was the arrow hitting the tree behind the deer. So it was a long shot. It took a while to find it because aside from the splatter on the tree where the arrow came out and hit the tree, there wasn't any blood really to trace, except every maybe 10 feet there might be one speck. And eventually we followed those little specks of blood to a point where there was massive amounts of blood. And so the homeowner and I both searched. I finally found it. And yes, of course, it did roll down a hill. We had to drag it about 200 feet to the fence to get it over the fence. And then I had a cart, two-wheel cart, that I used to haul it with, and I drug it along the bean field while he went up to get a tractor with a bucket on it so that we could haul it out with the tractor. But then as I was driving out, I called the meat packing house where I have my deer processed, and they had a message on their machine that said they weren't taking any deer until November 4th because of a recent outbreak of COVID-19. So that meant I had to take the deer and hang it out and butcher it myself today, because it's going to be too warm for a deer to hang for 3 days, which is normal. But I had to get it cut up and into a refrigerator. Fortunately, the refrigerator at the cabin is empty. So I went ahead and took it out there, butchered it, cut it all up into quarters. There is some meat that I went ahead and processed, but I've still got to process a majority of it. So my refrigerator out at the cabin is completely full. But it's been a great day. It was a godsend, and I do appreciate the fact that the Lord did give me a deer, and it will feed my family for quite some time. Anyway, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Be sure and click that little bell icon to get notified whenever I put up a new video. Thanks for watching.